Hey guys, and today you join us with the Range Rover L405. Now, for those of you that do own a Range Rover or would like to own a Range Rover, you know that there is problems with Range Rovers. Now, this L405 does have a few issues. We're going to resolve one of them today, and we're going to show you exactly how to fix it and how to adjust the problem. So today's problem is the tailgate, and you will see this doesn't quite line up. The roof just there is actually lower, well the boot is lower than the roof. Now this is a common problem on the L405, which is a real pain, and sometimes people can't actually shut their boots. So as you can see guys here, this is becoming very low with that line right there. And if you look on this angle as well, look how much that sticks out there. If this camera stops readjusting, you can see that is sticking out quite a lot. Now on the top as well, you can also see, as I pointed out earlier, that is really dropped compared to that, so the lines are not going well at all. So today we're going to show you guys how we're going to fix this problem with a simple how-to guide. So the first thing we've done is obviously open the boot, and as you can see here, there's actually a mark on this plastic, which is where the spoiler keeps coming down and touching the pillar here, and that is a big problem. Also, it will start catching down here, but fortunately our one hasn't. So you need to be careful and watch out for that, and obviously marks over here as well. If that's happening, your tailgate has dropped. So the first thing we want to do with the boot open, there's a little trim clip here. You just want to get a trim tool remover and pop him out, and then we can remove this plastic, and that'll be the same on both sides. So for that, we've just got our simple trim removal tool. Now we're going to remove it with this one, just because it's a little bit easier. These plastic ones I'm not too keen on because they're a little bit flimsy. I'm just going to get this one today, and that is what I'm going to be using. That is one clip removed away from there. So now we can pull that out. So to get this little plastic out, like I said, you'll see this bit inside there. You just pry it that way and that just pops out, and then that is that trim removed. You do exactly the same on the other side. So here's what we're trying to do here. So inside where that cover was, there is two studs, one here and one here, and basically there is a nut on either side of those, and we've got to loosen those. And now to get to those, we've got to take the spoiler off, hence why we're taking this trim off, because we need to get to these nuts. There is three of these. There's one here, there's one in the middle, and one on the other side, and we will show you. But a top tip is where we just pulled that little trim clip out, we want to get that hole further down and more in the center, and that's where it's meant to be. And as you can see, we are nowhere near the center, so our boot needs to go sort of further back, and then we can get that clip in, and that will hopefully align the boot. But do be careful, because this can go left and right as well, so it might be aligned obviously too much on one way. So we've got a 13mm nut on the left side, we've got a 13 in the middle, and we've got a 13mm on the right side just there. Now what we want to do is just loosen those off, pull the spoiler off, and be careful because we've got some looms attached. So what we don't want to do is scratch the roof, so we're going to close it manually on the boot, and then we are going to disconnect the looms that go to the spoiler. So now we've undone that 13mm, the centre 13mm, and the right hand side 13mm. We just want to get to these ones at the top. Now I didn't want to mention these ones just yet, just because I didn't want to confuse the situation, but we've got one here, and then we've got one on the passenger side as well. And as you can see, the actual spoiler has moved before. Now we've just lowered the boot down, and we're just undoing the clips on the looms so we can get this spoiler completely off, and that's so we don't scratch the top of the roof of the car. So I would recommend taking the spoiler off, which is why we've shown this part. So you would have seen there I had to undo the clips. This one, the hose just popped out. This one, you have to pry it out. I'll show the spoiler end in a second. This clip just pulls, you see this one? See that little bit? You get like a little trim bit there, then that bit pops out. So as you can see, you just got to just lift that up, and that one just pops out of there, and then that will slide out. That's just for the washer jets. So here is the spoiler, as you can see, all removed, and these are the washer jet pipes. That's the one with the little clip, and that's the one that just slides off. And now these are the clips that are a little bit more fiddly. I've just taken it off of here with the trim remover tool just because it made it a little bit easier. We had a little bit more room. As you can see, there's a little bit on the plug here. This little lever just needs to come back, and then the other piece on the car just pulls out of this electrical connector. And another tell sign of the boot dropping is, look at that, that's dropped a hell of a lot. This is not good for water intake either, or any moisture or damp in the boot, so that is not ideal. So we need to get him back up and aligned. And to do that, we've got these 2 bolts or 2 nuts just here that we mentioned. So we've got to undo those, not fully, we've just got to loosen them so there's a little bit of play so we can move the whole tailgate back and up. So then this will hopefully lift and align that. So we're just going to remove, well not remove, just loosen these 13mm nuts either side. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, open the boot back up and then align the boot lid. So now just slightly loosening those 13mm nuts either side. Don't go too mad, just slightly loose just so you can move the tailgate because it is very heavy. Now this actual procedure was very hard to do on my own, so I would recommend getting an extra pair of hands, and that will just help you align it while someone can quickly tighten those nuts up as well. And when you're aligning it, when you bring the boot down, do it manually and not automatically, because that will save the tailgate closing on itself in a position where you don't really want it to close. So as you saw in the time lapse there, excuse the sun, but it's a lovely day. So we decided to do this outside today. Hello Buzz. So as you can see, we've done the best we can on our own and we've aligned it to the best we can. I would recommend getting someone to help because it is very difficult on your own. You've got about a sort of finger gap there, and the same with this side. It might be slightly out, but for now, on our own, that is the best we're going to get. So we tightened up both of those bolts, and that is all in place. So we just got to put the spoiler back on, and then this is one Range Rover boot lid alignment solved. So now you know. I hope this video helped. We're going to whack the spoiler on and then shut it all down again and then see what alignment we've got. And as you can see, that is a lot better. That is so much better. It's not perfect, but it's a lot better. It's in line, so that is the goal today. And it opens and closes so much better. So this is open. No, but we're not going home yet. And we're just going to shut him. It just shuts so much smoother. See, no hassle. Whereas before, it was really jolting and struggling to get back in the lock. So, yeah, super happy with that. Let's get it back together. So now the spoiler is back on. You just got to line it roughly where it was last time. Now ours actually was slightly over, as you saw when we was removing it. And that is the spoiler on. Lines up pretty much perfect. We're just going to shut the boot. Look at that, perfect. No judder, no nothing, whereas before it was juddering. So just going to put those final clips back on, but that is the boot all aligned and back in place where it is. Again, apologies for the sunlight, but we had to do it outside, didn't we, Buzz? So if this video of this Range Rover did help, please give us a thumbs up, like and subscribe, and head over to our channel to look at more how-to guides and even a Range Rover review, because we have got a Range Rover review coming up very soon because we daily this every day. Have we had that many issues? Not really. If you're not afraid of ratchets and spanners, then you know you can fix anything. So hope this helped. See you on the next one.